good. Nice, good hoist, well done.
Thank you.
Nice and sunny here as we sail out of Harwich Harbour.
Yes, it is. And we also have a sense of deja vu too.
It's a 2-step forward, 1-step back journey. We've been north, now we are back south in Wolverstone Marina, sheltering from a gale. Look how beautiful it is.
So that's how we are leaving the River Orwell all over again, having come here to hide from a storm force 10 that blew in. And this time, at last, nearly a month after departing the River Crouch, we are hoping to make some progress north up to Lowestoft. Beautiful sunny day, force 3 forecast, tide is going to be with us very soon, so fingers crossed for a nice efficient sail north. At last! Well, it's a busy morning coming out of Harwich Harbour. We've had catamarans coming in from the wind farm, we've got this big container ship leaving. It's all go. That's a lot better. We've got the joyful silence that only comes with engine off and sailing as we cruise out of Harwich Harbour up the coast by Felixstowe, bound for Lowestoft.
As much as we like to keep moving, we go by Mother Nature's grace. You can never rush her and must wait for her to nod that you can cast off your lines. And when she does, we say thank you and seek our new horizon, because time doesn't give grace to any of us.
We are doing fabulously. Look at speed. So good.
What's going on up there? Good?
It's really good.
It feels good.
We are doing over 8 knots.
Woohoo! Nice.
And I think we have a little bit of racing going on.
Yeah, no, he's beaten. Lunch on the go. I love this boat when you get that bit of breeze and she just sort of digs her shoulder in. Doesn't heel much more than this. What have we got? 15 knots, full sail, 8.1 knots. You know, close reach. Ah, this is good sailing. I love it.
Feels really, really good.
Bon appetit,
Bon appetit to you too.
knob jockey.
No.
After the perfect 15 knots, we were left without anything. But gradually a dark line showed the wind on the water starting to fill in behind. The inevitability of it all is quite palpable, and you just have to wait to see what it brings with it.
Well, that was a surprise. 20 knots. How it could change, but the signs were all there, weren't they, with the wind on the water and the rain clouds coming. It was telling us.
Yes.
Now we're here, which is good.
Here we are again. Squall is gone. Engine on. Main down. Jib rolled. And we are motoring towards Lowestoft.
Funny old day weather-wise, that's for sure. Here we are, approaching Lowestoft, most eastern part of British Isles, I believe. Sun shining, hopefully we'll get in before any more rain squalls come through. Can you possibly film a little bit as we come in here?
Yep.
There we are. I'll just try and swing us in. There we go. Okay.
Throughout the entire journey, the wind was on and then off in the way that you might expect a child to play with a fan. And when we were safely tied up, a gale blew through.
Ashra's just told me it's the 8th of May, which is very useful. All I know is that we are in Lowestoft
and we are hoping to head out later on tonight to continue our journey north. And I'm going to try desperately hard to keep this brief, not to be boring, but I thought it might be useful just to have a little look at how we plan for a passage. So Asha, do you want to join me over my shoulder and we'll have a look?
Certainly.
So here we have one of the IMRE charts for passage planning, which means it hasn't got the close-up detail you would get in harbour charts, but it's good for this very job. Here we are down at Lowestoft, and very basically we can use our eyeballs to look at a clean line through nice deep water where there aren't any obstructions, and we can just draw that line on the chart, measure the bearings accordingly. We can use the scale at the side of the chart to see how many miles it is and when we can expect to get to certain waypoints. What's quite interesting with this part of the world is that we've got a very strange sandbank here and a sandbank there. Actually, it's a chicken pesto bank, because I spilt some pesto oil on this a while ago and it's formed this strange bank over here. So you can see that we can still use it. It's deep water over the pesto bank, and once we get to here we go into clear deep water again, which is great. Leave the pesto behind and we can continue the journey north. Now the interesting thing about here is us human beings have become very, very adept at plundering the earth in every corner, and this is full of gas fields around here, with all have individual no-go zones through there. This chart is not up to date, so what we do, we combine old school with new school, and I think Navionics has a very, very good place in navigation on a boat, but I don't think it should ever replace paper charts. So what I do is I plot the course here, and then I will ask Navionics to auto route it. I'm not sure if you can see that, Asha, and it comes up with a very, very similar route, and what it does very well for you is it will take you via waypoints that mean you stay out of the no-go zones. Now, just to give you an example of how many no-go zones there are around this neck of the woods, what we then do is we plot the course on OpenCPN, so we can measure all the distances, we can check all the bearings, all the waypoints, and it's just another way of checking that we're in safe deep water all the time. But if we zoom in to here, you can see there's our plotted course, which is the same as this course here. But as I zoom in, you get all of these rings, and these are all individual no-go zones for gas platforms. So you can quite clearly see when you come up from Lowestoft, which is down here, if you were to go sort of straight up north, you get yourself in a world of pain. So as we zoom out, you can really see how much plundering humans are doing in order to get gas, which we all need and we all use, so we're to blame as much as anyone. So this then very usefully takes you round the side, and you miss most of the no-go zones here. You skirt a couple of them, but importantly you're out of danger. And that is how we get to arrive at our destination. Very basically, I will plot the course, I will talk to Asha, Asha will look over my shoulder and verify what we're doing. We will cross-check it with Navionics, and then we will cross-check Navionics with this, because in fact on this occasion, this is a good example why Navionics is not always the best to use. It's a bit dumb. It's only a computer program. It knows how much water this boat needs to float. So if there's enough water, it will choose the shortest line. And the shortest line here, to me, is uncomfortably close to the shore. Particularly if there was an easterly wind, for example, that is then, to me, a dangerous lee shore. And we like to keep our noses far away from danger where we can, so we didn't use the Navionics course for this. Instead, we are remaining 5 miles offshore to give us a nice bit of leeway should we need it. So once I've checked it, Ash has checked it, we've cross-referenced it with Navionics both ways and checked it on OpenCPN, we come up with our final plan. We're not really too concerned about the tide here, because generally speaking it's running north or south, so we're with it or we're against it. We will plod our merry little way up the coast, and hopefully we will make it to South Shields in the River Tyne.
We are about to leave Lowestoft after a brief stopover. The whole day we had strong wind, but it calmed down now, and we are getting ready to drop the lines. Exciting!
First night trip of season 2 ahead. I want to go out of that harbour exit, roll the jib out, and get to the stern, and then we'll be able to see the River Tyne. It's a beautiful, beautiful day.
Yeah.
I want to go out of that harbour exit, roll the jib out, and get to the stern, and then we'll be able to see the River Tyne. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I want to go out of that harbour exit, roll the jib out,
relax and go, oh, isn't this cool?
Yes. Goodbye, Lowestoft. We have green lights. We are free to leave the Royal Norfolk and Suffolk Marina. See you, folks.
Well, Asher and Altor of Down, back on the sea and forging north. Feels good.
It felt good for 65 miles, and then that child turned the fan off. And then back on again. But the next time, Mum put the fan away out of reach in the cupboard.
Somewhere between Lowestoft and Bridlington, not entirely sure where, but roughly in the middle. Becalmed despite the forecast being for stiff breeze. I thought it was possibly going to be a bit too much and a bit uncomfortable, but we sailed beautifully for 12 hours and then the wind just left us. This is happening quite a lot lately. We're trying not to get frustrated because this is still a pretty good place to be.
Over the course of the day, we tried every trick in the book to get Altor sailing. The jib was in, out and shaking all about. But sometimes in the end you have to accept that you can't always squeeze a blow from Mother Nature. Slow times like these provide an opportunity to further improve foreign relations.
How's your skiing holiday? Looks like you got a nasty head injury going on there as well.
Stop it! I mean it!
Despite there being no sign of the forecasted southerly force 4 or 5, we decided to take advantage of the glassy conditions and motor further north to Amble.
There's Coquet Island, C-O-Q-U-E-T. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I don't really mind because I like the way it sounds. There is a inside channel between the mainland and the island going through there, but it's pretty rocky and shallow. We are going to stick to the deeper one because I don't want to cock it up. I have to say I was a little bit nervous to be anchored outside the harbour. I just wanted to conclude the trip up from Lowestoft. So I called the harbour master on the VHF and he told us there was enough water over the sill for us to enter. So we pulled the anchor up, entered between the harbour walls and found our way along to Amble Marina. And here we are, safely tied up, cockpit closure up and about to have some dinner.
Cheers to that and a great progress north.
Cheers!
We are in Amble, ready to rumble!
You are such a bellend.
Now here's a problem commonly observed across all species. A beautiful female draws an admirer. He approaches, trying to look as casual as possible. Way, steady there, son. Good recovery. Into calm water. Try and look cool. Yes, she seems quite receptive. Yes, she likes me. There's nothing in my way. I'm going in. Yeah, nothing to see here. Well, I wasn't really interested anyway, you know. After a walk along the beautiful river, we found ourselves in Warkworth, where we visited the castle. It was a mild, wonderful spring day. We listened to the birds sing and admired the beautiful countryside. But despite this, there was something missing. Was it in Castle Street? No. Was it the beautiful daffodils, or daffodildos as my nephew calls them? No, this still wasn't quite it. And then... bingo.
Come on, knob jockey, let's go and get a pint. I've just spotted the brew house.
Pretty good view of the castle. Nice place to have a pint. You're looking very colourful today, dear, I must say.
Thank you. I'm enjoying myself, so I feel like, you know, I have to express through
With
wearing
colours.
all the colours.
Lovely.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you very much.
7-9,
mate.
please.
That's awesome, thank you. Oh, Northumberland, you really have delivered something special here. With picture-perfect views all around us, we made our way along the beautiful river with its ever-changing scenery back towards Amble. We stopped briefly on the way to watch some fishermen at work around the weir before relaxing for the rest of the afternoon in the cockpit. It's a lovely sunset here in Amble Marina. I think it's time to go out for a walk around, isn't it?
Yeah. Do I look like a scam but with the tracksuit? Yeah, I do.
I beg your pardon?
I said I do look like a scam but with the tracksuit.
You look, no, Ashley, come on. Look, at the end of the day, you're my scumbag. We love this place. We've been here a few days, and when we first landed, we both said, hasn't it got a nice vibe? It's a real treat to find places like this. It's not your modern MDL kind of marina, and to be honest, that's kind of why I like it even more. It's got that old school boat feel about it. Where are you going, sneaking up on me again?
Last time we said the place had a good vibe, we stayed for 4 weeks, so careful.
I know.
But I wouldn't mind.
This happens quite regularly, where you move in somewhere new and you immediately feel at home. And with this travelling, floating gypsy lifestyle, it does become your home, albeit only for a few days. So Amble in Northumberland, yeah, you're making a very good temporary home. Thank you. From this point on, now that we're out of home waters, this really does become a voyage of discovery, which feels so great. And the greatest thing about it is that it's not just the end of the journey that's the adventure, it's the getting there.
I keep taking photos and videos because everywhere I look and every change of light just enticing me to take more and more photos and videos. It's
I know.
so gorgeous.
Right, about 5 times I've decided, right, that's it, sling the camera over my shoulder, no more. But it's absolutely beautiful out here.
Yeah, I tell the same to myself. Just take it in, enjoy. Don't bother with the camera. And then, no, I have to take one more.
I know. There's always one more. After a wonderful week in Amble, we say our goodbyes and stretch Altor's legs a short distance further up the coast to Holy Island. The joy of cruising into the fading light of a beautiful sunset was made even sweeter by catching up with some old friends along the way. It's so good to see you guys again, but more on all of that in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this adventure now. We hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please come and see us again next time. Love me tender, love me do. Chuck loads of money and hard work at me. That's basically what you said to me, wasn't it, when we met?
What did I know?